Bonjour et bienvenue à cette deuxième journée, keynote d'ouverture, pleine d'énergie. La fin n'est toujours pas là. Depuis 20 ans, Akamai fait partie de notre écosystème avec la sécurisation d'Internet et tout ça. Et ce qui est surprenant chez des acteurs comme Akamai, ça a été cette capacité, avec l'arrivée de l'IA, d'être en mode agile, de leur prendre comme opportunité pour vous aider de plus en plus à maximiser votre force de défense. Et aujourd'hui, j'ai la chance d'accueillir en scène une vraie personnalité de cette entreprise qui a vraiment beaucoup travaillé pour cette keynote et bien évidemment en général pour Akamai. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Mani Sundaram. Welcome, Mani.
Please join me. Meet you.
So, welcome.
Thank
you.
Good
morning.
Thank you.
Let's start from the beginning. Can you tell us a bit more about yourself, Mani?
Sure. First of all, it's such a pleasure to be here. Beautiful Monaco. So let me start with my background. I have been in Akamai for 19 years, and I've done a lot of different things at Akamai. My first project was as an architect designing the solution for the Beijing Olympics. And then I was a CIO at Akamai. I was responsible for internal security, and now I'm doing everything related to security at Akamai. Security products, security infrastructure, CISO function.
Thank you. Very clear. And what about Akamai? So 20 years of job, of work. How can you summarize in just 2 minutes?
Sure. So I don't know how many of you know Akamai. Akamai has been around for over 25 years. And our story started in '98 when Sir Tim Berners-Lee, who was the founder of the internet, he had a challenge with the internet. It was too slow. And so he asked a question to the professors and students at MIT and said, how can you make the internet faster and better? And so one of the professors and the students came up with an idea to cache objects at the edge of the internet. And the student, Danny Lewin, and a professor, Professor Tom Layton, formed the company. Unfortunately, Danny Lewin was on a plane on September 11th. And so he passed away just 3 years after the company was started, without actually being able to see what the company could do. But Akamai, it was on September 11th, 2001, that the world needed Akamai, because you could not access news sites without going through Akamai. So Akamai helped save the internet on that particular day. And our story with security also is quite similar, as you can see here. In the summer of 2001, the code red virus was going around the world. And so we had the Deputy National Security Advisor for the White House. He came to the office and he said, can you help protect the White House against the code red virus? We did not have a security product at that time, but we had a global platform, and we used the controls on the platform to protect the White House. And that was the start of the security business for us. And since then, as you can see here, we have made a lot of innovations in security, right from protecting against large events, including things like the Olympics, the World Cup, as well as mitigating against large DDoS attacks. Now, Akamai is everywhere. We are deployed in over 130 countries, 700 cities. We have over 1,000 terabits of capacity. Think of us as one of the largest networks on the world on top of the internet. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit, Maria, about what we see on our network. So if you look at this, on a good day, this is what you can see in the last 24 hours. You see close to 60% of our traffic that is coming in is actually bot. So you see all of these lines there. You can see the deep red lines are actually bots. 60% of the traffic that you see on the internet today is actually bots. 40% is actually human traffic. Now, if you look at this globe here, this is our DDoS attacks. It's been a quiet day for DDoS. You can see that there's about 319 gigabits per second that we handle, and out of which only just 4 gigabits per second is actually DDoS. You see, this is our WAF traffic, and I'm going to zoom into one particular city here. Let's go into Paris and see what's happening. So if you go into Paris, you will see
Let's
that
travel. Let's travel a bit.
we might have to go back a little bit. Let's see if you can do that. Live. Ooh, okay. Maybe it's a little too fast. Can you see this now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
So it's about 25% of the traffic on the net is actually good bots. 75% is bad bots. So that's an interesting thing. And you can see the usual bots here, with ChatGPT and ByteDance and everything else on the right. When you look at the DDoS side, I think I kind of went through this a little quickly. DDoS has been very quiet today. This is the last 24 hours. And I'll show you some statistics that show how bad DDoS can be, especially in Europe last year. Right? Now, if you look at our WAF, and I'm going to go into Paris right now to see what's happening there. If you go to Paris, you will see that 15%, about 16% of the traffic in Paris is actually an attack. And most of the attacks that you see in Paris are rate limiting. So, they're kind of layer 7 DDoS attacks that now we are protecting our customers against these kinds of attacks. So this is just a quick snapshot of all of the different things.
Of course, it's just a piece.
Quick overview,
a piece of the scene.
Exactly.
So in all this, you are like in a really, you have the radar, you do spot threats. Can you share a bit more about this radar, the threats?
Sure. So, if you look at the threats on the internet, it has been crazy the last 3 years, especially in Europe. And the reason why it has been crazy in Europe is because there are 2 wars that are being fought in this region. Right? Whenever you have these wars, you see all of the things that you see here, which is if you look at what we call as EMEA, Europe, Middle East, and Africa, it's the #1 most attacked region that we see, more than North America, more than Asia. And we see statistics like 119% increase just in terms of the EMEA DDoS attacks. You see ransomware going up by 37% because of these wars that are happening. And just last year, if you looked at just layer 7 DDoS, as I told you earlier, because of the Olympics in Paris, that also causes more attacks now on the platform. So these are just some of the things that we see every day that are happening, especially in this region and in France. We see customers that are attacked every day, and we protect these customers.
Is this reassuring? So this is the radar, but the radar, of course, is not done only to watch what's the situation. The radar is also to prevent, to see what is the future. What is your vision about that? What is going to come to us?
Yeah, so let's go into one specific example. I'll talk about ransomware. So you saw in the previous slide, 37% increase in ransomware. Now, how do you protect against ransomware? Now, in life, some of the best solutions happen to be the simplest. And if you go back and look at the solution that shipbuilders had to solve for when they were building ships, the big worry that they had was that the ships would sink if one part of the ship got flooded. So what they did is they designed the ship into compartments. So we took that concept, and the concept is basically what is called as microsegmentation. Microsegmentation is around taking your network and making small compartments so that if you get ransomware in one compartment, it doesn't spread across your entire network. And that's been a new technology. Many of you might be aware of it. We have a leading solution there. And we commissioned a recent study, and we found out that this microsegmentation has been looked at from a compliance standpoint. 75% of the insurance companies, cyber insurance companies, say that you should have microsegmentation in order to reduce your insurance rates. If you have microsegmentation, you're about 21% faster in terms of solving your attacks. And also, if you look at it, a lot of companies, I was a CIO before, I cannot tell you the number of times I had my employees coming to me and say, we deployed a new application, please create a hole for me in the firewall. That's a terrible way to do things. You create a hole and you forget about it, and that's how ransomware comes in. So microsegmentation helps you first provide the visibility, and also it gives you a lot more clarity on who can do what within your network.
Thank you. Very clear. To go on, what we like here in Les Assises with the community is sharing recommendations, help, because it's in sharing, comparing that the community can move forwards. So let's go into this path to future. What do you see our two recommendations to give as a gift to the community?
Great. So all of what I just talked about, you can actually get it online. We publish something called the State of the Internet, where you can go and look at all of the data that I just presented, as well as talk about different customers, how they've used different solutions to protect against this. But going back to your original question, I think one of the things that you see today is AI. Everybody here has heard of AI. Everybody here probably has used ChatGPT or some other AI tool. And I'm sure everybody here is worried about AI. And as a CISO, I'm also worried about how AI is affecting us. So we commissioned a study with some of our customers. And one of the things that is of no surprise to anybody here is there's over $600 billion that is just being spent in AI this year alone. Over 600 billion US dollars being spent in AI. Now, why are people spending so much of money on AI? Each of you here have budgets that you're probably looking at for AI. It's to probably improve your customer experience. It is you have a chat bot or something along those lines to help it be easier for your customers. You want to make it operationally efficient. You don't need that many people anymore.
Improving production, of course.
Improving production, get things to products to market faster, as well as to support our customers, your customers, retain them, better experiences, make it easier for them to do things. But the worry that we have in the security industry is we don't know how that data is kept. We don't know what our employees are doing with the AI. Are they accessing and exporting our data into some kind of an AI engine? What is the AI engine using that data for? Do we get an auditor coming to you tomorrow saying, tell me how your data is being used? Right? Those are all fears that we have. Shadow AI is a real fear in the security industry. And you're seeing some of that that's coming up here. 80% of our customers, CIOs, are concerned about the AI aspect of the organization.
That's the future. It's the present, by the way. Any other recommendation?
Yeah, if you go and look at, again, I go into AI and I'll give you a good example of what has happened with AI. So we've got some of these use cases here, but let me give you a story of what happened with Air Canada. Air Canada is a big airline. Air Canada had a chat bot. And in that chat bot, they allowed people to request specific fares. You can go in and say, I want a special fare to do something. Now, there was a person whose grandmother passed away. And so this person went into the chat bot and said, can I get a special bereavement fare, which is available by Air Canada? And the chat bot said, sure. And it said, when you can book your tickets, when you come back from your trip, you can submit the reimbursement for getting the special fare. So he did that. He bought the ticket. The chatbot instructed him. He went to Toronto from Vancouver, and he came back, and he submitted the certificate, death certificate. And so Air Canada declined that because they said that he'd have to have presented the certificate before he went on the trip.
Yeah, but the fault was on the chat.
Exactly. So the chatbot told it to him, so he went to court.
And he win?
Anyway, he said $700, he went to court. And he said, your chatbot promised me this. And now you're telling me...
Yeah, it's an official communication from the brand.
For $700, Air Canada got bad publicity.
These are also risks.
Yes.
So also for business.
Huge risks for AI. When you have AI chatbots, you are liable for whatever your chatbot is telling your customers. There are other examples where the chatbot is selling a car for $1. And today I give you an example. We have a product that helps protect AI. And one of the big customers of that product is a mortgage company. And they've noticed that 10% of the requests that are coming in are attacks, saying, can you waive my mortgage? Can you cancel my mortgage? Can you do other things? These are ways that people are now trying to do prompt engineering to attack AI.
Mani, what do you think? If you're so passionate and passionate, I don't want to be the only one to get benefit of it. Would you like to take some questions from the guys here? What do you think?
Sure, sure.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Alors, chers amis, qui veut poser une question à cet intervenant passionnant? Soyez pas timide. Question? Alors, qui se jette? Qui commence? Allez, on lève la main. Petite question sur toutes ces recommandations. Bah alors, on est endormi.
Where's the coffee for everybody? We need more
Let's coffee for everybody. Ça va venir. So, again, we are going to recommendations, so will come the questions. What do you feel that is the best way? I mean, okay, protecting, okay, it's larger, your experience is it's larger than what was expected. It's not only attacks, but very large, it touches the entire production machine and client experience,
Yes.
so from marketing to seller to production. What is your, I mean, what should we do? What should we do?
You know, I think there's a lot of things. First of all, I think a lot of people think that protection is very hard. Everybody gets afraid by the thought of cybersecurity, and they should be, partly, because fear is the best motivator to fix things. However, I think that in today's market, there are plenty of solutions. You just have to walk downstairs to see the amount of solutions that are there to protect you. And, you know, I can talk about this one example that we had. We had a customer that came to us, one of the largest consulting companies in the world, okay? They were attacked. They were attacked. They had ransomware within the company, right? In 2 weeks, we deployed and covered 300,000 endpoints and servers. So you can do it. It's actually quite, it's not that hard, but it requires a commitment. And you have to know that you have to understand what part of your infrastructure you want to protect. We can do it. 300,000 endpoints. We quickly protected endpoints and servers. And we came up with policies that can help protect them. So you can do it. There's a lot of vendors here, including us, that can help each and every one of you. But all you require is, you know, discipline and the intent to do it.
Basically, to choose your wars. You can be large, but it's dangerous because large you can use yourself. Or decide the wars that you want to run.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And things will change. I think the way I look at it is security is about 3 things, right? And each of those 3 things you need. You need people. Even though AI tells you you don't need people, you absolutely need people. Every day you need people to help protect you. You need the tools. And I'm going to say that I'm guaranteeing you if I'm here next year, our tools are going to be very different. Every day we see new tools that are coming into the market, especially with Gen AI. So you're going to see new tools. And you need the process, honestly, to kind of put everything together. Without the process of people and tools, you're going to end up in a situation where if an attack happens, you really don't know what to do. So you need the process for all of that to kind of come together. So I'll say that from what I've learned as a security practitioner now for 19 years, one of the things I'm going to tell everybody here is, A, it's not that hard. B, make sure that you have the right people and the right tools. C, put the processes together so that you can put all of them, make all of them work together. The last one I'm going to say is, if you have a SOC, Security Operations Center, give those people a hug. They need it. Every day they're going through attacks. You need to go thank your SOC every day. That's one of the hardest jobs. I've been there. I've seen it. Go give them a hug. They deserve it.
We will write it on social media. Let's give
Give
them
them
a
a
hug.
hug. Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Before we conclude,
Yes.
and we'll see if there is any
Any
question,
questions?
because I like you're so passionate and passionate. I'd like them to. It's in the morning, and you're impressing as a speaker, I guess. So before we conclude, we can't, with you, not to have a small look at the geopolitical global context.
Yes.
What are your recommendations? The thing is not to go back, we know that wars between continents, etc., etc. Let's go, as we said, to recommendation from your experience, for your long and so fruitful experience.
Yes, I think the most important thing I'll say is, the world is becoming a dangerous and risky place. And if I was 20 years back, when I started my career, I don't think I would have predicted that we would have been in this situation. But now we are in a situation where the world has changed dramatically, and every day there's something different. I think the nature of cybersecurity is such that you have to constantly keep thinking of how to defend yourself, right? 2 years back, AI, nobody thought about AI.
No.
Now everybody's thinking about AI.
But it was ready there.
It was
since
ready,
a while.
but like nobody
thought. It was
thought.
not a surprise.
It was not a surprise, but then suddenly you see every day that shadow AI is one of the biggest risks that we have in the world. So I'll say that as most of you are security practitioners, stay on top of what is going on in the industry. And there are a lot of people in the industry. You should look for the vendors that can support you against these large threats that are there. Many vendors cannot protect you against nation-state attacks.
No.
But also be aware that I have a joke. If you are being attacked by a bear, what do? You don't have to run faster than the bear. You have to run faster than the slowest person, right? So as long as your security posture is better than others, you will not be the victim of the attack. There will be others that could be the victim.
You know what? Simple objective to be reached.
Yes, exactly.
So, one other one. We talked about geopolitical.
Yes.
Your vision about the economic. War or not? I mean, sometimes it's trickier than other times, especially between continents again.
Yes.
This affects budget. This affects really trust, basically. What is your vision about that?
It's a great question. I don't think people like war in general. Like war is something that you want to avoid war. But in this environment, I think governments are realizing how much they need to invest in defense. Sure. And defense, especially in Europe, defense includes cyber defense. Because as you've seen in the past, things like the Mirai botnet or other things, NotPetya and all of that, a lot of that came from here in this region. There are new ways to bring down infrastructure. So people are realizing there is money that is being spent on things like utility protection, electricity, water. These are areas that are like the soft underbelly that people never thought about. And now there's a lot of money, euros and dollars, that is being spent on protecting the infrastructure, critical infrastructure that you have. Also, compliance is becoming a new challenge, sure. Right? So compliance right now, a lot of people never looked at compliance as a big thing. But today, actually, it was funny. I was on the plane here, and I saw somebody with a big sticker that says, "Have you hugged your compliance officer today?" Right? Compliance is becoming such a big deal, and you're seeing things like ransomware. Auditors are coming in and saying, "Show me your protections against these attacks." Right? So I think there's a lot of dollars that are going in, or euros that are going in right now into defense, and you have to look at the right way to spend that.
Voila, that's it. Because otherwise, you'll be just.
Otherwise, especially for utilities, our standard of life that we have experienced is at risk. So we need to do what we can to protect that.
Absolutely. It's not good to finish with a question about economic. Let's do another one, a final one.
Final one.
Not economic.
A nice, happy one.
Yes, and as I'm used to conclude interviews with, it's the deal. Finish with a positive and energetic message to close. We can't close badly. So, energy, what is positive, what are the opportunities, what are the positive things to keep in mind in going away from les Assises?
I'm going to say that the most positive thing I can think of is how better we can become quickly with AI. So this is the positive side of AI. Things that took months, years, people are doing in days. I have learned so much in the last 6 months about security with the available information that is there. People are writing code right now, even though there's problems with that. But I think that our life is going to change, and I'm hoping that it'll be for the much better, as we all get to be able to use tools that can make our lives easier, faster, better. Again, think of the SOC operator. The poor person, he or she, was working to go through logs, hundreds of millions of lines of logs to understand attacks. Now they have tools to help them do that. So I think our life will get better. We just have to use it the right way.
With dogs.
Yes, exactly.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have 1 minute left. If there is anyone...
There's a question there.
If there is... Well, I don't see, but the hostess, our colleagues, will be taking care. Sorry, with the lights.
Good morning, Arnaud Chet from Louis Vuitton. Maybe one question regarding the strategy of Akamai in order to accelerate the response facing the growth of attack based on AI and so on. We are saying that AI can be used in order to find fast response, accelerate, and kind of increase of the knowledge and the powerful of the SOC. So what are the current investments and maybe the technological response from Akamai on such topics?
Okay, yeah, thank you for being a customer. We actually use AI quite a bit. We've been using AI now in our platform for quite some time. One of the things that we have now, you can see with some of our newer products, is we use AI to make your life easier. There are ways in which you can actually get information about your attacks by just simple queries using generative AI, like saying, tell me how I've been attacked. In the past, you'd have to go in and look at logs or do other things. Now we are trying to put those products in place for you to make it easier. Also, we use a lot of AI behind the scenes because we see 12 trillion DNS attacks a day, 12 trillion DNS requests a day. So we can take that and identify things like bad IPs and so on using a lot of the AI capabilities. So there's a long list, and I'm happy to talk to you about this after.
Thank you so much. It's time to go to the forum for the one-to-one meetings.
Excellent.
I think it was a pleasure to welcome you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
C'est parti pour les one-to-one. À tout à l'heure.